This is your instructor Joy. So this is some music that we're going to work in today. So this was Allegro by Fiocco. This was a subscriber's request. Thank you for sending me nice questions, comments and donations. Please be encouraged to keep sending me your questions, please. So we're going to talk about how to play those fast runs while playing all these crazy ornaments. In this case, it's called Mordent. So Mordent is the one that looks like a zigzag above the notes. It's played, let's say, when you have a Mordent on top of note C, you would add a note above, and this is how it's played, but a little rather faster, like that. Oops. Here it's very important, the moving finger, in this case playing the Mordent playing the upper note, finger tip has to be heavier than the one that's holding it down. Yeah. So make sure you leave the main note finger down, but with a very light fingertip, and this upper note, in this case a D, has heavier fingertip and it has to move like elastic. Yeah. So if you're having a hard time to have your third finger heavier, then you could exercise like this, just to teach your left hand to get a little more heavier. Yeah, then see. Here, there are several common mistakes that a lot of violinists do. Is your some violinists lift the fingers. Not only it slows down, but also it just makes things a lot harder because you're moving too many parts unnecessarily. Yeah. So leave your second finger down. So in this case, main note, and just upper note. Just quickly, elastic movement, meaning have your fingertip kind of tapping and release it right away. It's like a ball jumping up, like this. When it hits the floor and whoop goes up, like this kind of. When it hits, it has the biggest weight, whoop, and then it gets up very light. So yeah, so that's how this Mordent technique is practiced. Now, another common mistake is because it's such fast fingering movement happening on the left hand, our right arm somehow gets tense because, you know, both arms are attached to one spine, so when your left hand is busy, your right arm thinks that it has to get busy too. But we have to control that. We have to keep our bow arm really calm and controlled, so that you can really move fast with your left finger in a controlled manner, in calm manner. Yeah. So there's 16th separated bow and then slower. And then I suggest that you practice that one without left hand on the string, just to get the calm mood and understanding what part of bow that plays well easier and with the least work. Like that. And another third common mistake a lot of violinists do when they play Mordent or any other ornament is sometimes the note with ornaments tend to get longer or slower because a lot of violinists are busy to play those turns, either trill, ornament, or Mordent, or sometimes grace notes, whichever you have. A lot of violinists try to play all single notes as much as possible, but understand those ornaments are not there to show every single moving part, but rather to create certain mood. So yes, that is an important part of music, but that's not the main part of the music. So that's a little ornament, a little spice. So don't lose a big picture, don't lose a focus of big picture, which is just a Yeah, that's the one. So you want to fit this mordent into it without slowing down and keeping the bow absolutely calm the same way. Yeah, so that way people hear something sparkling happening, but they also don't lose the whole run, the whole big picture of the music. Yeah, it's very important. And as you notice, I'm doing large crescendo. I start really soft, bring up to forte or fortissimo, so that I can do a nice transition from to this, yeah, a little legato, a little cheesy mood to create two different kind of mood, but I'm using the end of the phrase, a little transition part, by doing big crescendo too. So now, when we do crescendo, there's several ways of doing it. As you know, it's easier to play soft near tip because it's light, and it's easier to play loud in lower half because it's a heavier part of the bow. However, when you're playing fast passages like this, it's very hard to play. Very hard to play in lower half because the heavier part are harder to move. Number one, and also your arm is quite uncomfortably positioned, so that's harder to move fast. So when you are playing fast positions, you want to place your arm where it's the easiest way, the most natural way. That way, it's very easy to get faster like that. Or retake. Maybe not this one. So, which means for us, we're limited when it comes to bow parts because it is fast, so we have to stay upper half. Somehow we have to create from piano to forte with crescendo using only half or more or less of the bow. How do we do that? Make sure you start really soft at the beginning. That way you have enough room to get louder. So I use at the tip, very little. Yeah. Then I get gradually a little away from the tip and start using a little longer bow and add and apply a little more weight. Like that. Another trick that makes your crescendo even more extreme would be adding a little accent. So make sure when you do that, you have to control your bow. Make sure that stays completely on the string so it doesn't get lifted up, because that's another common mistake that violinists do when they do accent. They tend to lift up, but make sure it stays on. So like this. Stays completely, no accent, nothing, just very soft. Now I'm a little away from the tip. Now I'm mezzo piano, mezzo forte. Sorry. I'm doing. Now I'm a little, maybe a little lower than middle, because I want to create now forte sound. Like that, yeah. So then if I apply everything, it sounds like this. Yeah. So this is such a beautiful piece. Fiocco's Allegro is not as much played as other repertoires, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful piece. It's he was a late Baroque composer from Belgium, and nice thing about Baroque pieces is that you can play a little with your own version of ornaments too, either using Mordent or any other trill or grace notes, because that's kind of how it's often practiced, and you're allowed, except Johann Sebastian Bach. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.